NBA young guy seemed to be finally responding to the June 23rd death of Foolio. Foolio was wounded and ambushed, and that there's a lot of conjecture in the streets about the little boy's response to these two, a fierce rivalry that is so strong that Foolio once arrived with his team to face Youngboy's face-to-face. We'll go in-depth in this video, their conflict, and discover what Foolio's ops. To discuss his passing, pay attention, due to the fact that they are not holding NBA little youngster in the back, Foolio, who is among the most divisive and despised rappers from Jacksonville that will perform. The dude said, and I'm not even exaggerating, he did it himself.
Pool party start the day at 5, 6 o'clock. If you already got the address, pull up, man. You got the address, pull up. If you need the address, DM me right now. The pool party start at 5, 6 o'clock.
Over, bro. Throughout the last several years, Foolio has succeeded in make a lot of people and foes believe that's the precise reason he was slain. Foolio's untimely demise began with what should have been a festive commemoration for he will turn 26 on Saturday, June 22, 2024. Foolio made the decision to host a huge swimming pool party in a Tampa, Florida, area, renowned for his love and great personality. He wants to share this with his supporters. Unique day spent with his team and his adherents.
Drinking, I don't even drink,
Foolio made contact with his Instagram story offering a preview to all users. A glimpse of the revelry while sipping CUI don't even sip since the location was bursting with dance, music, and overall goodness. Nonetheless, as the evening wore on, the celebration became larger than anybody had anticipated. Attendance was high and airmen achieved their capacity restricts the disturbance and chaos, attracted the attention of the neighbors, and they requested that the police shut it down by that when Tampa police stepped up the celebration was uncontrollable. The police evaluated and saw that the location was well beyond the occupancy limit concerned for security. They went up to Foolio and his group, informing them that it needed to be taken off and depart. Foolio, his team wasn't ready to let the celebration end, so they moved the festivities inside the house. Two Hilton suites in Tampa at Saturday evening merged with the early in the wee hours of June 24. The vibes remains high and everyone was content. Moment totally oblivious to the threats, ailing away at 4:37 a.m. The evening required. In a terrible turn, Foolio was shot and ambushed. Video captured by cameras from the parking property that the Hilton and a neighboring Holiday Inn discovered a masked shooter in hiding. This guy, concealed in the darkness with a clearly the semi-automatic weapon, was waiting. Regarding Foolio's black vehicle, the video, the shooter racing across the parking lot determined on death as soon as Foolio's vehicle approached the hotel. In the parking lot, the shooter opened fire. With icy precision, he moved closer. The vehicle then let loose at point blank, ranged the abrupt and vicious assault to the left. Foolio, with no opportunity to respond in a frantic effort to escape the vehicle, smacked a curb while attempting to maneuver quickly a corner. But ever after that, it was too late, because everyone has been on the watch for responses from his largest. You already know the one name, Ops. Everyone has been anticipating an update from This Baton Rouge native is a young NBA player. He is used to controversy, generating news for years, not just for his songs, but also for his encounters with His life has been an exciting one filled with had many chart-topping singles and illegal issues related to the criminal. Comprehensive documentation of his first major encounter with the authorities occurred in 2016 after he was detained on suspicion of trying to a drive-by murder in the first degree. Taking this photo put him in prison for months before he made a request bargain and was released on bond, but that was just the start for young lads with legal problems were piling up, including accusations of abduction, assault, and ownership of firearms. Is one of the most notoriety-grabbing events took place in 2018, when a young child participated in a confrontation with a hotel's security. He was shown on camera severely abusing Jania Jackson, his former lover, which caused his arrest for assault and accusations of abduction in spite of the grave. Because of these accusations, he was able to get a plea agreement that will result in a shortened sentence in 2019. What happened? A second gloomy turn when the small child was shot at in an incident outside the Trump. The assault at International Beach Resort was purportedly connected to a dispute with T. Grizzly, another rapper. As a young child wasn't hurt, but his former partner was shot, and a witness sadly lost his life caught in the crossfire of this event. Broke the probation of the young lad and led to an additional year in prison. However, apart from NBA, little child with all his legal turmoil is renowned for his beats as well as the manner. People, he creates adversaries in the rap game. Are riveted to their displays in anticipation of his response as a result of the fact that Foolio was quite upset over something. These two artists started out with a string of miscommunications, and miscommunications began at that time. A teenage NBA player recorded songs that briefly bring up the phrase Foolio fans believed the tiny child was making fun of Foolio, and the gossip began to circulate as at first. Wildfire Foolio didn't consider a lot of, but when the gossip spread, he felt the need to deal with the circumstance.
NBA had his little entourage and Foolio had his entourage, and like none of them kick off. But, you know, I'm off the clock. You on your own. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, if I was on the clock, I'd have regulated.
Young NBA player arrived at for a performance. Foolio saw Jacksonville as the ideal chance to speak with him. He chose to arrive at the little boy's hotel to inquire rather than to start a quarrel, just stating what he intended for Theo and his track.
Ever since Youngboy went to jail, them niggas been getting shot, popped, beat up, tied out. Them boys doing bad. They need to let YB out that motherfucker, man. Them niggas, yeah.
Theo and his group folded up. It became into a tense dispute between the little child and his squad, as per one of the Youngboy's security officers who were present during the air was heated and strained with possible threat posed by Foolio and his entourage at the hotel. With a very strain was tremendous for the young NBA player, given that both parties have powerful street integrity and were renowned for taking against their rivals head-on. As Youngboy's team wasted no time in getting started, swiftly assembled in front of the hotel. Prepared Fato and his squad confronted the security guard, observing from afar, made the decision. His reasoning for staying out of the way was...
I love saying top name, bro. Me personally, bro, I really feel like he sucked dick, bro. This man keep a nigga name in his mouth. Nigga don't pay you no mind, no attention, my nigga. They ain't a crazy part about it, man. You the brokest rapper out of Florida. You broke as a...
The conflict, high levels of stress, and the circumstances swiftly escalated. The massive altercation was without any weapons being drawn. The situation was resolved. Fortunately, the meet wasn't at all. Later on, Foolio acknowledged that he texted NBA rookie that evening to see whether they might discuss things, but regrettably that the discussion stalled. Productive, and they ultimately found themselves merely trading more abrasive terms in place of conciliation.
Youngboy talking about on this song, bro.
What?
You talking crazy on this one. Hey, cap. You got cap in your rap.
As the meet intensified, both musicians used social interview and media to make fun of one another, escalating the tension even further. One of the most important incidents that became more intense, the NBA little boy's arrest in their feud. A little youngster from 2021 was placed under arrest on federal accusations against weapons. Foolio did not skip a beat and responded promptly to the circumstance, pouring fuel to the fire. Foolio chastised young people in public. The boy's choice to include firearms in his songs, films, particularly considering his standing as a felon. He contended that such acts alone set up a young child for legal failure. Not content to stop there, Trouble Foolio additionally used Instagram to make fun of the circumstances, ridiculing the young lad's crew and asserting, without their commander, they were not doing well.
People told me you and Youngboy was beefing or something like that.
I know
You said something about, what happened, bud? What's going on with you, man?
They be saying that a lot. It's like we got the same interests and holes, and then you know how the internet will try to make it.
Don't tell me I got problems over girls.
No, it's the internet.
This critique struck a nerve, particularly with the young male crew. One of his colleagues, Herm, retaliated by phoning Foolio, breaking and claiming that he just brought up Youngboy to continue to be relevant. Exchange of ideas between Theo and tension was maintained by the young lad crew, and the rivalry lasted until ultimately cooled down. A lot of people think it's not. A young NBA player is renowned for holding resentment, and some believe he may have. A few words on Foolio's passing. Soon, maybe even making fun of it. These presumptions stem from the past of Youngboys. This guy's feuds with other rappers has no trouble starting arguments with NBA young guys who are at odds with each other. Young Lad's rappers' list of rivals is lengthy, and his feuds are renowned as one of the most discussed disputes concerned King Vo, who many people think had an involvement in the sad circumstances that led to King Vo's and NBA little child Von's death. Both came out of the dirty streets. Prior to being well known in the rap game, V was firmly rooted in the severe Chicago's reality when he was a small child, getting around the sketchy streets of Baton Rouge, despite its geographic distance that their paths were meant to go cross. And at first, it seemed to be early on a potential alliance. Everything between King Vo and me was easy and Tiny Kid, but the peace didn't long-lasting conflicts behind the scenes. When the turning point emerged, when King Von questioned the in-public genuineness of the boy's lyrics, casting uncertainty about his street reputation during a live Instagram session that V was watching. Cute youngster singing and playing with us couldn't contain his youthful thoughts. What's the dude talking about in this song, bro? Ranting irrationally on, this is public and you have a cap in your R. DVD surprised me and signaled the beginning of a coming storm. A small child well known for his ferocious and swift comebacks strangely decided to overlook this one. He remained silent, and for a few while it seemed as if the tension may subside, but discord seeds had been sown, and it was only a question of time prior to things got out of hand. And it took an abrupt change when a photo of King Vo relaxing with the baby mama of a little boy as a result of Janel becoming viral. This was obvious provocation, and the tiny child don't spend time shooting back the way you know how. Little child is really devoted to his gals, whether they're ex-girlfriends or present. Uploaded a photo of himself and his kid, making sure to tag it with "I'm going that because you, my son, is your daughter." Trolling 4KT, this venomous remark was added, adding gasoline to the flames and demonstrating that little boy, the dispute was becoming personal. Advanced it by establishing a connection in the Asian doll artist King Von's studio. Exer. Girlfriend, this joint venture was a straight remark at V, and he didn't take long, replying. While V made no mention of Youngboy, specifically, it was clear in his tweets. Precise target with a single tweet. Von tweeted, "You guys are garbage." He remarked, "I got some __ on in another. You infant mothers who would make you not want to reclaim your children," and __. The things were becoming tense, and supporters felt the energy building to create much worse. An NBA rookie dropped the search down the deceased trolls at that moment. V had relocated to Atlanta to concentrate on his turn-off-the-street drama with some music. Chicago, where a small child was reportedly taken a swipe with this line travel at him. Using hella soldiers, I took some photos of your meager intention to taint anything. Won't get up with me in Atlanta either, but I'm not in the Pamper Sun set with all of you. Attempting to eat while traveling to Bounty Hunter. The group this song was a certain evidence that the meat was not at all over when the conflict became more intense. Figures started to participate in the quando. Rondo, a little boy's close friend and V's pal Lil Ree, began exchanging pictures on social media. My friend El Tim further inserted the fry warning to depart from the situation alone with a tweet that said, "Chak better relax." In spite of these simmering on my Kwando tensions, V openly denied having a dispute with Little Boy. Growing animosity between King Val and the young NBA player came to a terrible culmination on November 6, 2020 at night. Val the King and his company arrived at Atlanta's Hookah Lounge where Rondo was hanging out with his entourage. What began as an exchange of words swiftly became violent as Vaughn started hurling blows at the circumstance, quickly become uncontrollable, leading to a vicious fight between the two groups. Fired bullets amid the tumult, and King Vaughn was struck by the purported gunman. Was the moment when Rondo's close friend Lil Tim Vaughn had an urgent hospital visit. But he died away from his wounds. A tragic conclusion to a hopeful. Nevertheless, the young NBA player didn't just fought with King Von and had a dispute with him. Lil Durk, a close associate of King Von friends, this conflict arose from his problems with King Val and the King's passing. This was a severe setback for Little Durk and the whole OTF team, highlighting a crucial aspect: the conflict between the young boys in their feud. And Durk became more intense with each side, aiming their guns at one another on social media and in music, making it evident on May 7th that this was personal. 2023, just before the NBA is released. Lil Durk, a Youngboy's news album, tweeted modest, "I'm not taking advantage of merely." YouTube users saw this message as a jab at the NBA rookie, who is renowned for his robust YouTube presence at a young age. Boy responded without hesitation. Tweeted Yura __ Lil Durk, and you're harsh, and it was evident that he even marked DJ academics on podcasts claiming you're a pure. Those with large mouths are the reason you. Invalid hash bridges will now cease. Child persisted in his tirade, tweeting, "L. Durk, have you ever noticed that everything you receive, a buzz at your friend's passing? Consider it frightening. You know I'm not lying. Hey." Hashback he finished his tirade with, "Which is why I'm unable to be with. For all of you, I'm dropping, and I'm better." The next day, scholars from DJ replied, after a teenage NBA player's tweets criticizing him, "I never imagined seeing the day, my friend. He's low SES, therefore this rap game is a disrespect to me. I forgive you, Satan EL, young lad. Man, if we can increase their sales. Okay, Capitol Records, I blame you, but lol. Because of this, you're pressing IB to get some salesmen would stop at nothing to get my boy off. Home imprisonment." But he also said, "Why be the last rapper I believe would ever release any for sales, but please purchase his record." Drops on Friday in an attempt to outsell L. I still adore Durk despite his endeavor. Other than Lil Durk, NBA Youngboy has also had conflicts with other Monarch One affiliates such as NLE Cha, where it all began in 2020 when speaking on the radio with considering their comparable rap styles, genuine 92.3 and heartfelt performance, as many followers believed. They had a common buddy or at least politeness, but throughout the interview, when someone asked Nel Chapa whether he was cool with the NBA rookies Frank and the rude reply captured everyone's notice that I'm not even aware of. No, how that became unclear, by which I don't converse with. I'm not sure how fast the interview went viral, and followers on both sides adopted social media to voice their thoughts. NBA young lads supporters were furious over Chapa's disdain, while Chapa's supporters protected his freedom of speech, with the first spark being lit by Nul Chapa's interview on the NBA rivalry. Little Child and Nul Chapa soon grew into an all-out conflict that the two rappers' tension came out into their social media accounts for music and even newsworthy public events, and enthralling followers everywhere. The first significant escalated when NBA young guy just released from prison chose to tackle the issue head-on with a diss track. No Like I Know, the track's title, targeted attack on Little Chopper Lil Durk. Featuring more rappers, The lyrics were abundant with resentment, anxiety, and a need for retribution in a section of the song Young. I'll bet your mother will be, boy RS. Destroyed when your foolishness is sent to God for taking sides and making remarks about my grievance with those young males. Line was an obvious allusion to Chopper's insulting remarks made during the interview, and that little guy was definitely out. The beef required greater physical exertion for blood. Turn when a little child who is an NBA enthusiast assaulted Choppa at an airport. Event was swiftly captured on camera, became popular in the video. A guy arrives in Seoul and initiates a physical confrontation that concludes with both parties being divided by airport security. Subsequent inquiries verified that the attacker was an ardent NBA fan. A young child prepared to face prison time for his teenage NBA idol has likewise gotten into fights, having major players in the market like Gucci. NBA acted as the catalyst for the dispute in Maine. I detest NBA Young, little guy distoon. Kid who was discharged in this in February 2022 trail. The little child fired firearms at many rappers such as Gucci M. The particular phrase that started the conflict was used to with Gucci up until I saw that he was like them. This line cited the most current Gucci M cooperation on the song with Lil Durk. Tales of a little child feeling deceived by Gucci. The connection between M and Lil Durk, who was Gucci Mane, one of the little boy's rivals. Renowned for his prompt reactions and a no-nonsense demeanor, did not accept this. On March 4, 2022, Gucci M lightly published a diss track of his own called Gucci Man as a PR gimmick. In this song, addressed Youngboys directly with his head, began the song with his attempt at, for the sake of publicity, these rappers, they just bleed once a month and remain silent. Please avoid putting a blunt you on my name. You may salt all you want, but it won't help. These were some direct avenues of reaction. Reaction to the boys' discs and the Gucci M said unequivocally that he would not allow this to go given the little boy's long history of conflicts. It's obvious he refuses to give up despite being young. The boys' silence over Foolio's death. Notable rivals have already made their voices known. Responses to Foolio's passing. One response, the killing of Foolio, which has captured Youngin, is the focus of everyone's attention. Foolio and Ace Yan had been locked. Years of violent conflict involving the ATK and Keita Cruz, respectively. Their hatred for one another was well recorded, with both rappers making use of their 2021 music as a battleground for young people. Ace then released the contentious song when he brazenly said, "Who I smoke." Foolio's fallen associates are a few of the track that used a sample of Vanessa Carlton's 000 Miles got viral really fast and heightened the rivalry. Ace is heated. Lyrics presented a clear call to action and Foolio responded without delay. Foolio shot, returning with a savage insult when I meet you tune that used news audio samples. Report of the passing of Ace's brother. This music wasn't the only place where feuds surfaced. Across the roadways, with both sides experiencing considerable losses in the instant after Foolio's passing. In the middle of the sorrow, Young G Ace moved that, in only a few hours, stunned everyone. Following Foolio's passing, Ace published a statement. Due at the timing of the track, it was no accident that Aces did the release. Was a reaction to Foolio's passing directly. Using lyrics that were unequivocal, Ace spoke about pacing the streets, causing them to vanish and alerting his aiming to remain on course. The track was brimming with combative and confrontational words like, "We run this 7 days a week. This week, I wager, spin in any day and come up missing." Must stick to his main points. Best not be sneaking a let's out here. Call these guys up here, okay? It's true that I'm trying, that I could die, and when it was released, it was greeted with instantaneous pushback from supporters, and other artists used social media to communicate their incredulity and fury. Many denounced Ace for his callousness and disrespect for the abandoned track. was seen as an obvious effort to profit from Foolio's passing and continue fuel their feud at the perfect time. The dispute around Do It appeared to be at its best right now. Youthful G-Ace. June 28th, they unleashed another surprise. 2024 Ace dropped a follow-up diss track. This song, Game Over, was even more direct and explicit, leaving no space for uncertainty over its target. Ace didn't hesitate to mention Foolio's detailed death and making fun of his rival's defeat. The song began with a chilling statement that served as the "You everyone know I smoke dead" for the whole song. Individuals, you understand what I mean, and I started smoking 6 haha right away. Ace's song made it apparent that he was honoring Foolio's passing. The lyrics included several allusions to Foolio's. Ace often used the murder and number 6 as Foolio's immediate haunt. Dead on the floor, crew 6 block. Arrival, Mr. 6, I'm still yelling. The 6 Ace WS4 in the vehicle, and I struck one of the 3 dead ones. Informed them that they do not want a conflict with the lyrics of this. Ace were surprisingly specific. He described the situation in full. Noted that Foolio at the time of his death was one of 4 people in the vehicle when the game was released, he was slain. Generated even more fury and controversy is yet another noteworthy response originated from Foolio's main adversary K. Therefore, why do you please explain to me why you had to go? And Foolio would roll in the same circles, often congregate and perform music, rising in the Jacksonville together. Rap culture was recognized for its unvarnished, authentic lyrics that depicted in challenging neighborhoods. But when fame increased, tensions increased. Queso connected to the Young-led ATK gang. Ace's Theo positioned himself in line with KTA. These antagonistic ties generated an acrimonious dispute that only got worse. Over Queso's response to Foolio's passing in time was as icy as it got, and he sprang upon social media users posting a photo of him, Foolio, and 2 other people with a cruel caption that was aware of when you died, I plan to smoke your ass up. It will be monotonous. Voodoo wouldn't be able to help you without you. Article went viral online, igniting intense arguments between supporters and detractors. Evidently, Queso didn't like to be seen as impolite. Another noteworthy Jackson and Spinabans responded. Rapper and well-known associate of young Ace Fab, Ben is really Noel Williams, used Instagram after Foolio's death and shared a previous King Von tweet. They declared the game over, winning. The reaction was quick, ferocious, and on social media people swiftly criticized Spinnerin due to his lack of compassion and deference, criticizing him for his celebration. A person's passing so publicly on X voiced their displeasure by writing this. Repulsive rip Foolio Spinnin' must discover Christ. Another user said, honest, Ben is going to hell because of the narrative. While supporters await the NBA Youngboy's response, even in passing away, one thing is certain. The drama surrounding Foolio has not ended. If you liked watching, thank you. Whilst viewing this video, choose one of the boxes that are playing on your screen. More comparable material.